Good morning, fourth graders. I hope you guys are having a great morning. Hope you slept well last night. I so enjoyed seeing a few of you yesterday afternoon, and so I thought we would do a quick review before you guys get started on your test today. Your test covers a lot of decimals, and so I kind of wanted to review with you over those decimals. Now, I sent some really good videos yesterday from YouTube. I hope you guys watched them because it really explained this very well. But let's go over it together. Now, remember, when we have a decimal, the first place after the decimal is called the tens place. The second place is called the hundredths, and then the third place is called the thousands. So we say tens, hundreds, thousands. Now, when we are changing our fractions into a decimal or our decimals into a fraction, remember what I told you about the zeros. If you look right here where we have 3/10, or we would say 3/10. Now the clue that I told you is, remember how there's only one zero here? So that tells us that we're just going to have one place past the decimal. So it would be decimal 3. That is how we would say that. 3/10, because it is one place after the decimal. So it's the tens place. All right, look at this next one, 55/100 or 55 hundredths. Now remember my trick, there's two zeros here, so that means that it would be two places after the decimal. So it would be decimal 55. So this would be 55 hundredths. All right, now look at this next one, 12/6/10. Now what type of number is this? If you said mixed number, that's correct. This is a mixed number. So when we write a mixed number as a decimal, remember we just write the whole number as 12. Now we have to write this fraction as a decimal, and it's 6/10 or 6/10, and so it would be decimal 6. Now if we read this, we could read it in two different ways. We could say 12/6, or 12/6. Or remember, whenever we have the decimal, we always say the word and. So we would say 12/6. So whenever you have words written out, make sure you always remember when you see that and, that is where the decimal goes. All right, let's move over now. Let's change it. We have decimals, and we need to make these into fractions. So we have 4/6. So remember, we take the 4, and that's just our whole number there. And then we have to write 6/10 as a decimal. And it's just write what you hear, 6/10. 6/10, just like that. All right, look at this next one, 27/14 hundredths. And so that would be 27/14/100. All right, again, see how there's two places here, and we have two zeros right there. All right, and this would be 8/5. Now let's see what place is it. This is the tenths, this is the hundredths. So it would be 8/5 hundredths. And the way we would write that is this, 8, and then write what you hear, 5 hundredths. Just like that. And look, there's two places here, and we have two zeros there. And here is, that's all that we're doing with decimals. Now, really quickly, last week you learned some more about metric prefixes. And you guys should say these in your sleep because we do these all the time. But I just kind of wanted to review over that with you. Now, remember, when we have a metric prefix plus the word meter, like kilometer or hectometer, something like that. Remember, that is where we're measuring length. But last week you learned about these prefixes before the word liter, and that is when you're measuring liquid. All right, and so it still means the same. Kilo still means 1,000, hecto 100, deca 10, deci, now it means 1/10 or 0.1 would be the same thing either way. Centi, 1/100. And then milli, 1/1000. And it doesn't matter if it's talking about meters or liters, those prefixes still mean the same amount. Kilo always means 100. Deci always means 1/10.